The social standing of the smith can be compared to that of the griot, because he too is often asked to resolve social conflicts. The griot, the artist, deals in metaphors. The smith goes in more directly but diplomatically. The links between them are close, especially as the smith makes the tools that are vital for constructing a balafon. Mamakonate, the smith, is the master of fire and also of the art of recycling. With the spring from the suspension of an old truck, he makes this little hoe. The balafon is made partly from natural elements. The slats are made from rosewood. This wood has to be very dry. It normally comes from cutting down a dead tree, but with desertification, it's hard to find rosewood in Mali. It's the great forest on the Ivory Coast that supplies most of the craftsmen. Long work with the plane smooths down this handsome red wood. It's then reduced to about the right size. To be solid with a good acoustic quality and to keep in tune, the wood has to be very dry. Drying is often speeded up by heating the slats in an oven for several hours. When they were children, their father made a new balafon every 6 months. He took the time to dry the wood by hanging it in the kitchen over the chimney. From time to time, to find out if it was dry yet, he threw a piece of wood on the ground and listened to the sound it made. If he heard ting-a-ling, then he could begin to make the balafon. Time for drying the wood has passed, and the sound seems satisfactory, more brilliant. The slats are very precisely tuned. They make pentatonic balafons in the Bobo country. It has a range of 5 notes per octave. It's like playing on just the black notes of a piano. The note emitted depends on the length, breadth, and thickness of the piece of wood. The deepest notes are produced by the long, wide, and thin slats. The highest notes are produced by the short, thick slats. Precise tuning of each note is made by removing shavings from the piece of wood. If the note is too deep, a small piece of wood has to be removed from the end, cut on the bevel. That makes for a higher note. If, however, the note needs to be deepened, the wood is thinned by cutting it underneath in the middle. Great manual dexterity and a very good ear are needed for this work. Today, many balafon makers use electronic tuners to achieve the right notes. Traditional manufacture requires a mother balafon that serves as a pattern for the dimensions and correct sound of the slats. In Mali, balafons are often played in duets. That means that the 2 instruments have to be exactly in tune with each other. Mounting the balafon on its frame is not a mere formality. The solidity and adjustments are essential to stop the slats and calabashes knocking together. The framework is bound together with thick leather straps. Making a balafoon is an event in the village. Although the Kasum and Mama cousins are known for their art of the balafoon, they don't make their own instruments. Ali and Yusuf are possessors of knowledge. Luckily, the children are already studying its secrets. To fix the slats and calabashes, synthetic cords have now advantageously replaced the former goatskin straps. The keyboard is then put in place temporarily to make sure that everything works well together. The calabashes are used as resonators. Choosing them is an art. They're chosen in the first place for their size. Nature works miracles, providing a large range of models, and the right size can always be found. The largest are obviously placed under the low notes. Then the seeds are removed from the calabash by filling it with water for several hours. Once it is dry, the calabash becomes as hard as wood, even though the skin is no more than a few millimeters thick. The definitive tuning of the calabash is made in reference to the note of the slat placed above it. The tuning is achieved by regulating the size of the opening of the calabash. So the calabash is tuned very precisely to the frequency emitted by the vibration of the slat.
Un peu ouvert, juste légèrement. Je ferme juste un peu. J'ai juste fermé un peu. J'ai ouvert un peu.
The lower notes require very large calabashes, but sometimes the opening isn't suitable, so it has to be adapted by a cunning assembly. The magic sound of the balafoon is a characteristic buzz, a reed effect that accompanies the note for the entire duration of the resonance. This sonority is produced by fine membranes that vibrate when air vents from the calabash. According to the power of the reed effect required, 1, 2, or 3 small holes are pierced, each about a centimeter in diameter. Traditionally, as here, membranes are made from spider's web or dried snakeskin, or even the wings of bats. These rare and fragile materials are nowadays replaced by cigarette papers or small pieces cut from very thin plastic bags. After a bit more work, the balafoon will be finished. If one day you want to choose an instrument, make sure it's properly tuned. The best test is to play the notes in octaves. They have to be perfectly in tune.
Bravo. Nickel. Nickel. Anibara.